Alright guys, just a little video on how to change the injectors and some seals on a 2009 Ford JJ1 engine in Holden RC Colorados and also the D-Max. I think these are all the same, at least up until 2012, probably even later. The difference is the later ones have a little cover around here with Allen keys on it. Anyway, pull that cover off first, just lifts off pretty easily. Then you take the intercooler off. I've got all the parts in the boot in my state-of-the-art workshop here. So yeah, the intercooler comes off. It's just four mounting places. That's the two bolts there. One there. I like to put them back in their same holes, that way you don't lose them if possible. Here's your rocker cover. I'll be changing these seals. I bought aftermarket ones. Don't do that, get genuine ones because they just would not fit, and I sized them up and there's a big difference in the size, and no wonder I'm hammering it and I couldn't get it in. If you noticed, I've been working on cars, yeah, you can tell. Yes, to get genuine. This gasket though, that's old, that's aftermarket, and it worked fine, so maybe that's okay. There's the injector lines, I'm replacing them as well. There's the map sensor there, those two screws. These lines, these little T-pieces, I will be taking this hose off and replacing it because it's 320,000 Ks old. So I'm going to take it off and take it down the shop and see what size it is. I think it's 6mm. These little T's, they're plastic, you got to be very careful you don't break them. And there's these little clips there. They clip onto the injector here. It's got a little seal on it as well. And that they clip over the top and they hold it onto the injector. To get them off, you use a little pick. I think this one was the one I was using. Just put it in and you just wiggle it around. Not much pressure, just in, out, up, and mess around with it. You end up getting it because you don't, and they fly off too, so you got to be very careful. Keep your finger on top. There is a video on YouTube about where the guy goes into a bit of detail about taking them off, and that's how I learnt a lot of this. I've changed those seals in there. That was the hardest part of the whole job, to be honest. I got like a punch through the top there. I tried through the bottom here, but just on the angle, not on the cam, but just in here, angled, and just to get the edge without scraping the metal too much. It's quite difficult because the inner part of the seal breaks away. It's just the maybe 2mm of the outside that stays, that you've got to hit. But you can get it, and once you start getting it, get the punch or screwdriver in the correct spot. Be certain you're not going to hit the metal, and give it a decent little thud with the hammer, and you'll see it move, and then you know you're onto a good thing. And just be patient and keep at it, and you will get them. And getting them back in, I just put a little bit of a smear of grease around there, and they just push in by hand, which is great. You don't need to take this manifold off. Just, yeah, go around a few different spots and push it in and try and get them sort of evenly in, and look at the back and go, okay, well, I can get, so many millimeter in, and that's it. That's all you do with them. What else did I do? So obviously before everything, all the wiring had to come off. So yeah, you just work your way around, unclip everything, unclip all these injector lines off the top of the 4 injectors. There's this little sucker here goes at the very back down into there. There's that little thread there. So that's for the glow plugs, so that's got to come off. It's a tricky little one. You don't want to drop the little nut. I think it's 7mm or 8mm. You do not want to drop that. These little half moons have a bit of silicone on them. Free Bond is the best one to use. That's the original Isuzu material. I think you can get it from Repco. There's 4 of them, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I didn't put any glue on there, or silicone, sorry, when I adjusted the valves and cleared the intake manifold in the last 10 months, and it's been fine. But I was rushed for time, so this time I'll put the half moon doesn't need replacing, because it's become a part of the head. It's silicone in underneath. It's just a bit of shit there. So that's solid. So the gasket will actually sit across there and do its job, but I'll just whack a little bit here anyway. Everyone seems to do that and recommend that, so I've got some in the shed, it won't hurt. Yeah, injectors, yeah, you just 19mm to get the fuel lines off. I don't just yank on them, because they can bend. They're only aluminium. I actually give them a bit of a karate chop, a few fuds, and that cracks them, and then you'll get them, and then it's very easy to just hand tight after that. Down the bottom there is 2 clamps holding the two fuel lines together. One goes on that thread there, there's another one goes on this thing here. So you undo them, they're both 10mm, take them off. I just took the dipstick off here for a bit of room, but didn't really do much. And right down where I've got that towel, that's the other end of the injector lines. That's a 14mm. Mine was super tight. I had these 2 hands, get on a milk crate and use all my strength and just got them. Now I'll put the rag over there to stop any debris or any shit getting in there. You definitely want to do that. You don't want any shit getting in those lines. If I weren't replacing the lines and the injectors, also put a bit of painter's tape across all here, because you normally have the injectors sitting in there with their ports, their fuel line ports open, and you don't want any shit getting in there. So put painter's tape, because it sticks really well. Put that across there, that'll work fine. Injectors themselves, they are here. I've given them all a wipe down. The tips were full of carbon. I actually think that could be half the reason they were playing up. I don't know. People say when they're gone, but I don't know. I feel as though every 50,000, if you took them out and cleaned that carbon off, even with a bit of a brass brush and a bit of diesel or something, as preventative maintenance, I feel like you'd get a lot more out of these, because they are, you know, 2.5 to 3 grand just for the 4 of them to replace. So yeah, the fuel line just screws onto there. These don't have an O-ring. The original ones, I've still got them. They were changed 6 years ago. They do have an O-ring. I don't feel like it matters because I haven't had any leaks, but I feel like the O-ring would give you a little bit of redundancy, because they're not going to leak without it, but if you got it, it might help. I don't know, but then it's a wear and tear item as well, so some guys are recommending don't use the O-ring. These have been on for 6 years and 100,000 without an O-ring, and they've been fine. There's a little copper washer, the old one, it's still on there. I did get one of them off. There we go, this one's coming off. So they just sit on there. It's just a copper washer. I think they're universal. I think you can actually buy a whole, you know, bag of 50 of them or something if you wanted to. Yeah, the new ones, I got some. I have got some. These are the seals. This is, maybe you can see that. Hang on. I don't know why that won't come up. Yeah, that's the seal. That's the, I don't know why it won't focus. That's the seal packet anyway. Those side seals where the injector line, the metal injector lines go through. Get genuine, don't muck around with any eBay crap. Where are these seals? We're gonna get something. Here we go. Here we go. So, yeah, these are, there we go. I got these little seals off my mate. He didn't need them, but my injectors are coming in 2 days time, and hopefully I've been told they already have this copper washer on them, so that's good. What else? I'll just go back and show you the clamps that hold the injectors on. So just these clamps, they that just goes around the injector, and you got this 12mm bolt, and just, yeah, simply holds it on. That's very easy. Told you about that, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, so the bolt just clamps in here, goes in there. These holes too, they see, it's nice, it's not bad, it's pretty clean, that one. So you got to clean them out. They can get, what you've got, the injector sitting in there, and that washer sits at the bottom there and seals it up, and there's nothing stopping that and the piston and the compression chamber on the power stroke. It's pushing upwards of, you know, 1000 psi. So the seal there, if you've got a bit of debris and carbon build up, it's not going to seal, and that's how people have problems, and then they get blow by. So you do have to clean that. You can get reseating or resurfacing tools. A lot of guys on YouTube are using them and just recommending eBay ones. They're like $40 to $60. They're nothing special, but mine were pretty clean, so I'm not going to bother with that. I just used this state-of-the-art little tool here. Look at that. Oh, this fucking thing focus, I don't know, it's too bright for it. So yeah, just a screwdriver wrapped in an old kiddie's towel, and I just, yeah, double it over at the bottom so it doesn't scratch the surface down the bottom, and just put it in and rotate all the way down the bottom. Obviously, that's all I've been doing. Comes out pretty dirty. I've changed the rag a couple of times. I'm going to spray it with some brake cleaner and just give it one final go as well, just to really get it nice and clean. I will clean up this surface just with a rag, just to get the old oil off. I won't be machining it or sanding it or anything like that. It's quite good. I did that within the last 10 months. Wiped it down, that is. I didn't resurface it. EGR cooler, that's going to go soon. I'm going to try and delete that at some stage. Yeah, I think that's about it. I just while I was waiting, I took out the MAF sensor and the map sensor, sprayed them with a bit of contact cleaner. I also contact cleaned all these plugs just to keep them nice and clean as well. So yeah, new injectors will just go in when I get them in 2 days time. Some people say put a little bit of grease on the washer to hold it on, or some people are even saying put a little bit of grease all along here to make it easier to get off next time. Other people are saying use no grease whatsoever and put it in dry. So I'm a bit conflicted. I may use a tiny bit on the washer perhaps to stop it dropping in or something into the hole. That'll be it. You have to code them. You have to get the codes on the top here. There's, you can see that there is all writing on here. It's big long number. It's actually about 20, at least 20 or 24 digits and numbers long. You do need, and there's a barcode here as well which you can scan, and you need to, you can do it beforehand or afterwards, I believe. So you can just number them. These are all numbered, it's faintly there, 1, 2, that was a 4. They're all numbered, or you just put, even on the metal part here, there you go, I put a 4, and there's a 2, so I did that. So with the new ones, you get them and you could mark them, get your scan tool, and it only takes 10-15 minutes. Put all your codes in, and you've got the marks, so you already know which one goes in which hole, 1, 2, 3, 4 and whatnot. And you can do that, or you can just take a photo of the codes, take the barcode of the codes, write down the codes as well, put them in and do it afterwards. But if there's any issues with it not connecting, or they're the wrong injectors, or there are, I think for 4Js there could be 1 to 3 different types or something or other. So I have heard it's beneficial to code them before you put them in. But you need a decent scan tool to do that. Luckily my mate has one that it's worth almost $2,000. What else? There's not a lot else, I don't think. These Tool Pro 12 volt things are very good. yeah, they're just small and easy to operate. I've got bigger 18-volt Milwaukee gear, but this is just very handy. Sometimes it's not that strong. Sometimes you need to crack it by hand and then finish the job with that, or use this one. This one's a bit stronger. Even this, you got to put it on, crack it, and then you let it do the work. Comes with a handy little torch. So that's all good. Yeah, I've got this set of tools. It's really handy. It's got everything in there, a few different sizes, and it wasn't expensive really for what it was. Maybe 180 bucks. It was half price, and I've had this for many years now. Everything goes back in its place, and it served me very well with the deep ones and the different extension bars, and you know, it's got the little tiny ones, it's got the bit sets here. Very, very handy. That's about it really. So hopefully this is my first time having a crack at it, and it was very quick too, really. I probably had them out within 2 hours, I reckon, and I took it easy. One other thing, I did roll the car over to there earlier out of the way. I started it. It smokes to the buggery, but I still started it, drove it, and pressure washed the whole thing, degreased it thoroughly, degreased everywhere, and pressure washed it all down. Yeah, and then I did that first, and then I took the intercooler off, and the car will still start, but it wouldn't move anywhere. It wouldn't even go into gear actually, so that must be something, a safety precaution with the computer or something. But so I just put the intercooler back on, just sat it on, just sat that pipe on and sat this pipe on, didn't clamp them up, and it moved. So I moved the car back to where I needed to go. But then yeah, you got to take the intercooler off to pressure wash all the tops of the injectors all here. You don't want any shit getting in there. So yeah, did that, and yeah, just like my hands aren't even that dirty, you know. Like if you don't clean the car before you do it, you'll be caked in shit from 10 years worth of crap, and it just makes your life so much easier. And when you're dealing with fuel on common rail vehicles, you do not want any debris or anything getting in there. So cleanliness is the go for this Formula One automobile. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it, guys. Yeah, I'm having my first crack, but there's not a lot of info out there, to be honest. So hopefully this helps somebody else have a bit of a go themselves as well. I'll just say as well, I'll give a quick plug that I am getting my injectors from, they're coming in 2 days. They're coming from a company called Diesel Geeks. His name's Matty B, and he seems to know his stuff. He goes a little bit further, a little bit beyond what most people do. Apparently he gets them all stock and tests the flow rate, and then he gets all 4 of them and matches the flow rates and gets them within spec of each other. And it has many benefits apparently, and it's similar cost or not much difference in the price anyway. So I thought I'd grab them because I do have plus 30s. The old ones were plus 30s, and it has been tuned for the last 6 years as well. So yeah, I wanted to just keep it that way. So yeah, I'm getting them from him. Hopefully they go well. It's my first time. They get a good rap from a lot of people that his company does good things. So time will tell. I've got it all prepped. It's all done. I'm getting new lines as well. So new lines are coming from him as well. So I'll replace them. He said they do get a bit of erosion in them, and you don't want metal pieces in your fuel lines or fuel injectors. They're only meant to be taken off a couple of times and reused, or some people say you're not meant to reuse them at all, but plenty of people do. But this car's at 320,000, so it's probably well overdue to change a few things. So that's about it, guys. Enjoy, and good luck. Hopefully it helps somebody. Cheers.